Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Flight Podcast. My name is Jacob Shanker.
And I'm Andrew Thomas.
Shut up and sit down.
The NFL regular season has officially concluded, and the playoffs are going to be underway next weekend. Today we're just going to be going over all the games that happened during Week 17. Let's start off with the Vikings Lions game, which was a really close game. It ended in a deficit of 2 points by the Lions. Kirk Cousins and Matthew Stafford both had 3 touchdowns, and Kirk Cousins had 400 yards thrown. This was a really good game.
Yeah.
Two pretty bad teams, but great offenses.
Yeah. It was a really good game. It was very close, much towards halftime, and then obviously towards the end of the game. It was really entertaining watching Matthew Stafford because I feel like he has qualities that Deshaun Watson has in terms of leadership and what he's able to do with what he's given. Right? There's only a few players in the league that I can say has those type of qualities, and I think Matthew Stafford and Deshaun Watson are two of the quarterbacks that can do that. Even though I think Matthew Stafford overall, even though they lost, I still see it as a win for him because he did everything that he could. They really did not have a lot out there. Obviously, with Kenny Golladay out, it hurts their wide receiver core a lot. And that's what we saw Marvin Jones get a lot of opportunities to get the ball and get touchdowns, yardage, the works. But for the Vikings, Justin Jefferson, he now passes Randy Moss for most receiving yards by a Vikings rookie, which is extremely impressive as Randy Moss is one of the greatest wide receivers, arguably the greatest wide receiver of all time.
I think Jerry Rice is still number one.
I think he's probably number one, but some people you could still argue that Randy Moss could be number one. But this is definitely going to help Justin Jefferson's case for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think it's going to be tight between him and Justin Herbert. But overall, it was Kirk Cousins didn't do terrible. I'll give him that.
He had a good game.
Mm-hmm.
He's usually kind of inconsistent in these games.
Exactly. But he tends to do well against bad defenses, and this was a bad defense. So obviously he's going to do well. All right, let's go on to the Bucs and Falcons game. We kind of saw an opposite of what we normally see with the Falcons. We normally see the Falcons having a huge lead and then losing that lead to the opposing team, which is what happened with the Buccaneers in their last matchup. But for this, the Buccaneers were up by a lot. They get to the end of the third quarter, and they start to get closer and closer and closer, and eventually get so close to tie. And what happens in the fourth quarter? Bang. 3 touchdowns.
Yep. Well, that was also because I think Matt Ryan fumbled, and they had a fourth down, and they missed it. So that's why the Tampa Bay got 21 in the fourth quarter. But it was great for me because I had Tom Brady on the sixth man. And I won the fantasy league, so props to you, Mr. Shanker.
Not very happy about that. Nope, not at all. But whether you like it or not, you did get lucky in certain parts. Brandon Cooks.
No luck in fantasy. Oof.
Really. All right, yeah. Brandon Cooks getting 40 points is not luck.
It's not lucky. It's just how good he did. It's not luck at all.
Okay, that's right.
Whatever, but yeah, it was crazy. Tom Brady threw for 400 yards, and Antonio Brown and Chris Godwin had 270 of those, and they both had the touchdowns.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Mike Evans, he got injured.
Yeah. So. I think that's going to be a big factor for. I don't think it's going to be huge for the Bucs because they
have 3 big options. They have Gronk, Antonio Brown, and Chris Godwin.
I was going to say obviously you want Mike Evans on your team because he's their number one option. So you obviously want him, but they don't necessarily need them because they, like you said, they have Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Gronk, Ronald Jones II, and Leonard Fournette. So they don't really need Mike Evans, but it's obviously good to have, especially for the playoffs. And we'll see what's going to happen with that.
Yep, we'll see it. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's head on to 2 pretty bad teams in the AFC, the Jets and the Patriots. And Cam Newton, for the first time this season, had more than one throwing touchdown.
Surprising. Extremely surprising.
He had a good game today.
Yeah,
And he also rushed for 79 yards, which is really good.
yeah. I
Cam
mean, he.
Cam flashing back against the Jets.
I mean, it was actually pretty close up until half the third quarter, really. But then that fourth quarter, Cam Newton finally showed out
Yep.
and came back. I mean, I've been hearing that Cam Newton is going to part ways with the Patriots, which I'm not surprised about because they didn't make the playoffs and didn't do that well.
Yep.
But
Also, to be honest, though, it's not all Cam's fault for the fact that he doesn't really have that many receivers. Like he has
it's
trouble
not
in the
Cam's
slot.
fault at all. It's just they literally have no one.
They have
Tom
no
Brady,
receivers.
like I was saying before with Deshaun Watson and Matthew Stafford, with that quality of being the leader, the leadership quality where they can do so much with so little, right? Obviously, Tom Brady has a lot, so obviously he's going to do a
Yeah, he's
lot.
got four big receivers.
Yeah, but we're
It's
forgetting
crazy.
last year. Like this team, it barely changed. The only thing that changed was the quarterback position. And what happened? They went
Also,
from
Julian
making
Edelman got worse and he got injured.
exactly that too, but still,
And
I
Cam had
mean,
his best game of the year, throwing wise, besides today, with Julian Edelman playing.
exactly. But I mean, they went from making the playoffs to not making the playoffs.
That's what
So
happens when you lose the GOAT.
yeah, it's not Cam Newton. It's it's just the entire offense. Because
Yep.
I think Bill Belichick was so fixated with Tom Brady. I mean, we know now it was Tom Brady and not the system. So Bill
Yeah.
Belichick has got to really adjust to a new quarterback and really utilize that quarterback better. Which whether it's they keep Cam Newton or which they probably won't, and whatever new quarterback comes their way.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I think that it's gonna be hard to improve on Cam, but at the same time, if you can find someone similar to Brady, then you can probably do slightly better.
I mean, obviously you can't find anyone similar to Brady. That's the
Well, no,
problem.
not better than Brady, better than Newton.
Oh, better than Newton.
Yeah, no. No
Yeah,
one's gonna be better than Tom Brady in this system.
yeah. I mean, there's a few possibilities out there. I mean, we'll see what happens this season. I mean, I feel like it's going to be something with Carson Wentz that will go to
Oh
the
goodness.
Patriots,
Oh
which
goodness.
that won't help them much better
No, no, it
because
won't.
he can't really do much anyways. We've seen this year, and that's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, let's go on to the Dolphins and Bills game where the Dolphins got completely destroyed as they got eliminated out of the playoffs.
So sad. It's really
It
sad.
was really sad. I was actually really excited to see the Dolphins play in the playoffs, but because the Colts won today, they did not make it. Um, but
My thoughts on this. I thought it was absolutely insane for the fact that the Bills dropped 60 points. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous.
yeah, I mean, it was 50.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's
Well,
crazy.
56, not 60, but
Yeah, but still,
close enough.
yeah. And I mean,
Crazy.
MVP of the game, not Josh Allen, not Stephon Diggs, Isaiah McKenzie, 2 receiving touchdowns and a punt return touchdown in one half. He did this all in one half, and then he was quiet the second half. But
Yeah.
obviously,
For a
they
second,
didn't.
I thought you were joking because I saw 2 rushes and 0 yards, and I'm like, oh shoot, he had a great game.
Yeah, he obviously had a great game. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, I think it was smart what the Bills were doing. Obviously, resting Josh Allen, resting Stephon Diggs, pretty much resting most of their star players because they're obviously going to need them for the playoffs. Because I
Yeah.
think the Bills, I think watching them more and more in the past couple of weeks, are even more serious uh, championship contenders. I think they
Yeah.
are the
There.
the toughest opponent that the Chiefs will probably have to face.
Oh, I 100% agree with you. I think they have good defense. They have great offense.
Hmm.
Um, it's like they even have more points than the Chiefs this season.
Yeah,
Like the Chiefs have 473 and the Bills have 501,
yeah,
and their points allowed are within 10.
yeah.
So
I mean, the big thing with the Bills, I mean, yeah, they have a great offense, but like you said, their defense. I feel like their defense is criminally underrated because they are one of the leaders in sacks. I think they are actually the leading
I
in
think they
sacks
are.
for any defense, which is insane. So their rushing defense is good, and their passing defense is also one of the best in the league. as you have Tre'Davious White and all the other
Yeah,
components
also
to that
safety.
team. So you got the offense, the defense, and the coaching. It's going to be tough for the Chiefs, especially watching them over the past few weeks.
Well,
I
it's
know,
kind of the similar way. It's like the 49ers last year with a quarterback and much better defense.
I guess, but the Bills have much better offense this year
Yeah,
than the
yeah,
49ers did then. I mean, obviously they had George Kittle, but this year
yeah,
they had no one like Stephon Diggs.
yeah. That's true.
As
Even though
Stephon,
George Kittle is a beast
yeah, I mean Stephon Diggs though is the second best, in my opinion, he's the second best wide receiver in the league
this season, not just as the best wide
this
receiver, but
season.
as the
No,
season.
this season, I think it's Stephon Diggs this season. But yeah, I mean, we'll see with that.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Let's move on to another really close game, which is a little disappointing. The Steelers versus Browns. I wanted the Steelers to win, but they lost by 2. And they didn't put Ben Roethlisberger in. They're saving him in for the playoffs. Um, Nothing that special from this game, but Nick Chubb had 100 yards and a touchdown. I guess that's probably the best for the Browns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. I mean, yeah. We're gonna see this matchup again in the playoffs. We'll see it this weekend. I'm, I'm not. I mean, am I surprised that the Browns won? A little bit,
Yeah, same.
because I thought the Steelers defense would be able to do better, as they, like we were saying, they have one of the best rushing defenses and one of the best passing defenses. But I mean, I think that was mostly because they were playing against bad offenses.
Yeah.
I I mean, I think they're still a great team. I think TJ
They have
Watt
great
is
defense, but they still went up against really bad offenses.
yeah. I mean, I still think they have a great team overall, but it's I mean, I feel I don't know if they're gonna have enough. I mean, we'll see with Ben Roethlisberger. I know we'll come back next week and he'll obviously be better than Mason Rudolph. But seeing the Browns put up 24 points, that's concerning. It's a
Yeah,
bit concerning.
against that defense,
Mm-hmm.
not looking too good.
Nope. Going on to a happy moment, but also sad moment later on. But we'll get on to that sad moment.
Yep.
The Giants beat the Cowboys. Great. Finally, they can win the game. Obviously, they didn't make the playoffs. Very upset because I was really hoping they would. Screw you, Doug Peterson. I will forever hate you. But it was really, I mean, even though it was close, that first half was the Giants did really well. They did
Yeah, they
really,
were great. They had 20 points.
yeah. I mean, towards the end, they like in the second half, their offense wasn't as great, but their defense really shined, right? And it was really able to show out. I mean, this entire game, it was pretty much Daniel Jones and Sterling Shepard just connecting the entire game. I mean, as he got
Daniel Jones and Sterling Shepard were going off. Like Sterling Shepard had a great game.
he had a great game. Yeah. Um, so I mean, I hope we'll see more of this next year, and
Hopefully.
hopefully now when Saquon Barkley comes back, and if he's as good as he's always been,
Oh, he will be. He will
we
be.
will, and we will
Him and his
finally
eyes.
make the playoffs.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
hopefully Saquon can help us out.
yes,
We
yes.
miss you, Saquon. We miss you.
But I mean, I think it's still going to be very tough since when Dak comes back,
Oh yeah.
and we'll,
I think that the Cowboys with Dak are surefire winning the NFC East.
yes,
Yeah, because
yeah.
Dak is just too good.
I feel like the NFC, obviously the NFC East is seen today as one of the weakest divisions in
100% the
the
weakest.
entire league. But I feel like next year or even in 2 years, it can be one of the top. Because you look at the Redskins, and obviously they don't have as strong of an offense, and they
They
can
get a
mix up
quarterback, then
something.
they're set. And then
Exactly.
and then the Cowboys with Dak, and
Hmm.
then the
The
Giants
Giants with
will get better
Saquon
with Saquon.
and the
And then the
Eagles
Eagles.
once
The Eagles have so many injuries all the time.
yeah, once all their players come back and once Jalen Hurts will be able to play the entire season,
Yeah.
then we'll finally see what can happen because obviously the Carson Wentz catastrophe.
Yeah. I that was one of the biggest quarterback fall offs.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
it's crazy. I didn't think he'd be that bad.
Neither did I.
But let's move on. to another quarterback we thought fell off a little bit. He continues to prove us wrong. Lamar Jackson has been great. He's rushing awesome. He's throwing much better. He's not throwing as much, but the Ravens are a much better rushing team than passing. So,
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on this game?
Not surprising to say the least. I mean, the Ravens made the playoffs with this win, and neither of us were surprised. And Lamar Jackson is now the only quarterback to have 2 seasons with over 1,000 rushing yards.
Yeah, and he even missed a game.
Impressive. Yeah, I mean, I think it's
last season too.
Yeah, I think it's clear that even though he had a rough start this second half of the season, it's clear that I believe that he is still a top 10 quarterback this season.
Oh, clearly.
I mean, obviously,
after these games, it's clear and evident that he's a top 10 quarterback.
Obviously, I mean, you see what he can do. I mean, just the entire year he's been able to do. Obviously, not like he was last year in his MVP year, but he's still been doing really well, and we got to commend him for it. And but
good job with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, not
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Dobbins.
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens are facing the Titans again in the first round, so that'll be interesting.
We'll see how it goes.
We will see.
I'm rooting for the Ravens this time. Last time I was rooting against them because I love Ryan Tannehill, but
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I feel like the Ravens are.
Lamar does. I want to see how he does. So
I think the Ravens will be an underdog in this situation, but
it's weird to think that because last season they were so good.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, let's go on to the Colts and Jags game, which was again not surprising, but the Colts were able to clinch a playoff berth with this win. Phillip Rivers, obviously not doing anything. I mean, he got a touchdown. But it was really
this game was all Jonathan Taylor.
It was all Jonathan Taylor.
This was absolutely ridiculous. Like 30 carries, okay. He had 253 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I mean,
borderline ridiculous.
Henry
did that good in
that
game.
Next year, if he's healthy the entire year, top 10 running back.
I agree with you. I think he's in the lower end of that because
I agree, but still.
But he's still going to be top 10.
Absolutely.
Really good.
I mean, it's gonna be exciting to see what happens with them in the playoffs this year. But they
have good defense and they have pretty decent offense.
Yeah. I mean, I think the fact for their rushing offense like really showing out with Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, but I think it's mostly because of that offensive line because it's just the best in the league.
Great, so good.
Yeah.
Let's head on to the Titans game. Speaking of the Colts, their division rivals, the Titans. Unfortunately, I was rooting for Deshaun Watson, but a last-second field goal gave the Titans the win. I thought it was going to go to overtime. The Titans got really lucky in the end when they had a great kick return. They had some good plays from Derrick Henry, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
I thought Deshaun Watson was going to extend that win to 5-11, but he had a good game too with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he was really close. He really put up a fight. Deshaun Watson, 3 touchdowns, 365 yards. And I mean, it shows and why I think he's the 3rd best quarterback in the league. I think he beats out Russell Wilson. This season, I think Deshaun Watson has really showed why he is so good. And I mean, I think
just imagine how good they'd be if DeAndre Hopkins had stayed.
They made playoffs.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. But I feel like also they really need to improve upon their defense as well. I mean, it's just overall, they really just have J.J. Watt. That's it.
Yeah, and he's not even as good as he used to be anymore.
He's getting older. He's getting older.
Yeah, he's still. Don't get me wrong. He's still really good, but
yeah, absolutely.
He's not the all pro. He's not the all pro 20 sacks in a season that he used to be.
Nope. All right, let's go into the Cardinals and Rams game as the Rams beat the Cardinals and made the playoffs.
He had a bad game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little I'm not going to say I'm not surprised, to be honest. I mean, I know we both said the Rams are going to win, so we were right about the Rams winning, but it was really just their defense is the reason why they won.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was tough because of Kyler Murray with his ankle injury. It was a tough blow, and he wasn't able to get as many opportunities this game, but hopefully next year that team will be able to make it to the playoffs because I feel like they will.
Kyler Murray's going to be better next season.
Yeah, but it'll be tough because they're in one of the toughest divisions in the league.
Yeah. I just want to say very quickly, Cam Akers had 21 carries, and guess how many yards? 34. That is horrible.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen such a bad stat line this season.
Yeah, no, it's atrocious.
It's so bad.
It's terrible.
That's like, oh my God, that's so bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's head on to another blowout. Panthers versus Saints. The Saints won. They upped their record to 12-4. Sorry, I can't read. Panthers, another slightly disappointing season. Christian McCaffrey got injured. But I'm also just going to say they had 5 interceptions today, total. 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, that was extremely impressive. I mean, I feel like, the Panthers really weren't doing much this game. And, I mean, obviously their season was over, so they really didn't need to do that much. And even though the Saints were without Alvin Kamara because he had COVID, I mean, they were still able to pull off a great win. Even without all their running backs, they were still able to pull out a great win.
Yeah. So
let's go on to the Packers and Bears game as the Packers completely destroyed the Bears, but the Bears still somehow made the playoffs because of it.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, crazy again. Him and Devontae Adams. I mean, not as crazy of a game as he normally has, but still getting that 1 touchdown in. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's nothing much to say about this. It was really expected. Obviously, Mitchell Trubisky getting no touchdowns and an interception.
Oh, you are such a Bears hater. Oh my goodness.
I'm just stating the facts. I'm just stating the facts. I'm looking at the stats. That's all this is. That's all this is. They will not make it past the first round. Guaranteed.
That's what they said about the Titans last year. You never know.
Guaranteed. You really think they're going to beat the Saints?
I'm not counting them out. Look what happened. Did you think that the Vikings were going to beat the Saints last year?
No.
Michael Thomas might not even play.
But they're the Bears. I mean, if Michael Thomas doesn't play, then I don't know about that, but still, it's the Bears.
Well. We'll see. I think the Saints are going to win, but I'm not counting out the Bears. Another, not really a shocker because of how they took out Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes, but
pretty much their entire offense. But yeah,
like their entire offense was gone. But Justin Herbert back at it. Oh, I didn't even say Chargers Chiefs. Chargers won, and Justin Herbert had a 3-touchdown game that extends his rookie record of most touchdowns. So we'll see in the future who's going to be able to match that record or even pass it.
Yeah,
because it was just recently that Baker Mayfield did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy what Justin Herbert's able to do this year. And again, like I said, it's going to be a tough race between him and Justin Jefferson on who's going to win that offensive rookie of the year because they both.
It'll be Justin Jefferson now.
I think it's going to be really tough. I mean, we'll see. I mean, but they both have had phenomenal years. That's the problem. Yeah, they both have done really well.
It's going to be really hard.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the Seahawks and 49ers game as the Seahawks got a very, very close win over.
They were down originally.
Niners. Yeah, they were. I mean, again, Russell Wilson doing fine. Nothing crazy. DK Metcalf pretty much just not doing much. It was really just Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson. Here's the problem I have with Russell Wilson, right? Not even just with Russell Wilson, with having a wide receiver on the Seahawks, and it's because of Russell Wilson. He will choose one receiver to pass to that game, and that receiver will pretty much get all of the receptions, or most of them. Tyler Lockett got 12 receptions, while DK Metcalf got 3. So for fantasy, I advise you. Obviously, you want to have them, but I would just put this into consideration that your player could either be a what's it called, a bust, or he could boom. It's one or the other. It's no in the middle. It's one or the other.
I will say though that Metcalf did have 9 targets and he only got 3 catches.
Yeah.
But I don't know who was guarding him though. But
Yeah, I mean it was probably Richard Sherman, my guess.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
But Richard Sherman is still really good, so maybe that's the reason why.
Absolutely.
Let's head on to the closest game of the week. 2 teams that don't matter at this point. The Raiders and the Broncos. Again, like 1 point. That's pretty crazy. And you were upset because Josh Jacobs didn't do well. But that was in the 3rd quarter, and then he ended up showing out. You still lost, but oh well, that sucks for you. I'm sorry. I rubbed the wind in your face. Darren Waller was again ridiculous. Like he's such a good tight end.
He always is.
He does a good job at
it. He may have had 1 or 2 games this year where he hasn't been as good, but besides that, he's been consistently good. And this is why he's the 2nd best tight end in the league.
Well, for this season, because
for this season. For this season, obviously.
Yeah. And also, he finished the season off with over 100 receptions and 1,200 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns. That's really good for tight end.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, it was a great effort by the Broncos, and I still think that they have a lot of potential in the future. It's really just going to be progressing with certain players, coaching, and staying healthy. That's the main goal, because they had a lot of injuries this year with Drew Lock being out a few days, Von Miller being out the whole season, Courtland Sutton being out the whole season.
Tons of injuries. That's why they're not as good this season.
It was tough.
Yep.
And now the game that I dreaded and that I absolutely hate.
Get ready for a rant. Everybody get ready for a rant. He's going to go off.
Doug Peterson of the Philadelphia Eagles. I understand why you did this. You suck, but I understand why you did this. Obviously, you wanted to get the 6th pick instead of the 9th pick in the draft. But come on. They actually had a chance to win this game and not look so terrible in the league. But no. Let's put in Nate Sudfeld. Who is Nate Sudfeld, you may ask? Oh, he is only your local fast food worker that you would see. They just picked him out of McDonald's and put him in the game and said, here, throw around a football. Goes 5 for 12, missing. I mean, I know that some certain players missed open targets, but he just did nothing. He was just running around doing nothing, looking like an idiot. Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, what did he do for you? He got 2 rushing touchdowns. That's actually something. He's actually doing well. And the other thing that I want to talk about, you are 4th and goal. You're losing by 3. Why on earth would you go for it? Kick the field goal, tie it up. Don't go for it, especially when it's a close game. Are you crazy? Absolutely not.
Shedding tears for Giants fans.
That is my rant on Doug Peterson.
So sad.
That's all for today, everyone.
Feel free to comment down below what your thoughts have been on Week 17 and what your thoughts were on Jacob's rant, because I really enjoyed it.
Tune in to the next episode on Friday. See you guys next time.